and welcome. My name is Stephen Compion. I'm joined here by George McHattie. He is the forward selector of the Rockford Ravens and was gracious enough to join us for this excellent episode where we're going to do some deep dive on the 2-0 motherfucking Rockford Ravens in this here spring season. George, how the hell are you today, sir?
I'm good. Yesterday was a bit of a mess, but no, today's good.
We did miss a key practice. We are a very young team right now. A lot of rookies and second-year guys bobbling about, so we could definitely have gone for a practice yesterday, huh?
Yes, sir, we definitely could, but I wouldn't have been able to make it because I had a kid, ex-employee of mine, show up on the business doorstep at the beginning of the week.
Oh, that's the thing you were messaging about, right?
Yes, homeless and high on fentanyl. So we took him to the emergency room, and
wow,
he had a psychotic break and was suicidal. So we basically, and Sven, I tell you, Sven came in fucking clutch, mate. He's like, dude, bring him here and we'll get him sorted. And I did. And that was yesterday. Dropped him off at completely the wrong place, which, whatever. It's quite a bit of a funny story because I went back there because everybody's like, you've dropped him off at the wrong place. What are you doing? I was like, I just typed in the name into Google and that's where they said to take him. So I took him there and I walked in there about an hour and a half later after I showered. And was like, hey, have you seen a little, because he's a short little guy, have you seen a little Oompa Loompa Frodo looking fellow? And they go, named by Will Mason. And she's like, yes, he was hanging around here for a couple hours. And I'm like, oh, where is he? She's like, he's no longer on the premises. And I started freaking out. I was like, wait.
You lost your Oompa Loompa?
What direction did he go? Started running out the door, and she's like, sir, no, he has been shuttled to the place where he needs to be, and he's being looked after. And I was like,
okay.
I turned around and I had a bit of a go at her. I was like, you've just like made my heart spike to like 200, me thinking I'm gonna be driving around looking for a homeless guy from Texas, high on fentanyl, trying to figure out where the fuck I'm meant to take him. But no, that was, I tell you, mental health and drugs.
Fuck,
messy combination.
Mental health in general is a fucking mess out there right now, George. But we are not here to cover that.
We are not. That's a whole different subject.
That's a whole other subject that we are not qualified, nor are we interested in covering in this exact moment. Instead, we are going to talk about these young Rockford Ravens and your hopes and dreams for them, George. Let's hop into it. So the fucking Fox City Gargoyles of Wisconsin, number one team in their division, in their conference up there last year, George, during the fall season. They came down to visit your Rockford Ravens this past weekend. And what happened in that game, George?
That game, we were lucky in my personal opinion that they did not come down with a full strength squad, because I feel like we would have not had our pants pulled down, but I feel like it would have been an absolute test match. Yeah, it would have been a serious test, and it would have been a really good game in a couple weeks to see where we're at, if 23 on 23, just to have a good old duking out.
Right, but it was, with that many rookies and that many inexperienced fellows, I think we would have had our hands more than full, George. We're absolutely in agreement about that. I think we got out of there lucky because the Fox City Gargoyles are freaking, 2.5 hours away from us, at least?
Yeah, and they all went out and got drunk over the weekend. So.
Of course they did. So only 16 of them showed up, and we were very lucky for that because god damn did they take us to the fucking brink of the game.
What a game.
Oh my god.
I came off that game and I couldn't walk. After all the adrenaline flushed out my system, I couldn't walk because my feet were hurting so bad because I had studs marks going up and down my legs.
That was an intense game. Before we hop into that one, though, we're not gonna want to come back and cover this. So let's cover the women's game first. They had their first home opener. I believe their first game of the year too, right? I don't think they had any other games before this.
Yeah, it was the first one because otherwise Kristen would have been playing in another.
Right. Their first game of the year, and man, just to hop to the final score, I think it was like 33-10. They straight up put a whooping on these teams that came up. So now I think it was a combination of about 3 or 4 different women's teams, and then they sort of split up between the Ravens and the visiting team, which were also from Fox City. And it was actually a pretty close match from what we saw in like the early going. It wasn't until we were over there already warming up and getting ready to leave ourselves that. First of all, we saw Captain Ren Felton have an amazing line break and just plowing through. I forget how she broke that tackle, but she was flying up there. Was going to get caught, but then perfect support by Jillian was right there for her on her left-hand side. Pass out to Jillian. Yes, I think she broke a tackle too. Continued running for a while, but kudos to the other team because it was some solid defense. They were about to catch Jillian again. But you know what? Experienced rugby players do experienced stuff, George. And Ren held it on that play after having passed the ball to Jillian, kept pace, kept inside, let her know where she was. Ball goes back to Ren for another try. That was probably one of the finer tries I've seen in women's rugby, live at least.
I agree with you, man.
I don't know if I've seen a better try than that from the women. Not to be like a sexist asshole, which I know that comes off that way. But live and in person, that was probably the best women's try I've ever seen.
Yeah, I totally agree. Women's rugby as a whole is seriously exploding, and
they are doing very well. I think there was just an article about England about this, right?
England, funnily enough, I was listening to a rugby podcast, actual rugby podcast, and it was.
Hey, what are you trying to say about this one? What was that? No, I heard you. You tried to gloss that over. What are you trying to say, motherfucker?
Well, this one just solely is rugby based.
All right, fair enough. That's what we'll go with. All right, fair enough. Anyway,
and they were saying that rugby in England is about every single club has a women's rugby team, and some of them have multiple teams. Whereas the men's teams are sort of struggling, women's rugby's thriving, and
weird.
I watched the Women's World Cup, and it was some decent quality, Obviously, it doesn't.
I saw those games. I saw those games too. Those were some quality rugby games, absolutely.
I actually found them more interesting than internationals for men's rugby because men's rugby now is so structured that everybody knows what they're meant to be doing, and the defense is so good. Whereas women's rugby hasn't got that professional aspect, so the women are still very much not being paid for it. So there's a lot more flair and originality in it.
Interesting. That's an interesting perspective, and one I would have to probably agree with because you're not going to see a lot of missed tackles. I'm not going to say it's more entertaining for me personally, but I see what you're saying. There's a lot more chaos in women's rugby because. There's a lot more missed tackles, there's vast levels. That's, I think, the main thing you see across sport, right? So, Ren comes back in the game later on and, plows through 2 girls to score. Now, Ren is not necessarily, a big, strong girl, but she just has better leverage than these 2 girls and, 10, 15 years more of rugby experience. And plus, I don't think they wanted to tackle her because they probably were just weak-minded fools. The point is, though, they caught her on the fucking 10-meter, and she carried 2 girls to the try zone and scored. Now, is that her being stronger than them, or is that just pure experience? And that's what I'm saying. You just see crazy levels of difference in levels of talent. So maybe that was those girls' first game or second game, and they're going against someone like Ren, you know what I mean? Whereas in guys rugby, I think the experience factor can't be that big of a milestone. All right, you may be experienced as fuck, but if you're not a good athlete, I'm still a better rugby player than you.
Exactly, and yeah, it probably is sort of Ren's experience level probably played a factor, but poor tackling technique,
100%. 100%.
If it's poor tackling technique, then I can run over a line with 2 men dragging along.
Right.
Probably not, because men's rugby's a lot more fucking physical.
It's just going to be harder to pull that off. But, dude, like, yeah, it was impressive, but it was also like, what are these two girls doing? You know what I mean?
Enjoying their Saturday, you know, at the end of the day. I would rather see that and then them go back out and play again.
Oh, yeah. No, I'm not mad about it. I'm just saying, I mean, you girls can't get run over by one person. There's two of you. I think, and this is what I tried to say in the chat that got way long-winded and crazy. I think tackling is a mindset. I think if you have the mindset of, I'm going to motherfucking make this tackle, and I'm not going to let this person make me look silly, that kind of mindset does resonate, and it does make you a more powerful tackler. If either one of those two girls was like, am I being run over with my friend right now by one girl? If they would have just had that pride moment to be like, abso-fucking-lutely not, and grabbed her and dragged her out of bounds, like what should have happened, you know what I mean? That's why I think tackling is a mindset. Because instead of you being afraid, oh my god, I can't make the tackle, oh my god, we're getting drove over, oh, this is the worst, what do I do? It's all panic and fear. Whereas if you're just like, no, motherfucker, I am making this tackle, it's not going to matter who has the ball, how fast they think they are. If you're in the right position to do it, you're going to do it.
Exactly. And I always go back to big old Sydney and think, if he broke the line and was sprinting straight down the gun barrel at me, I would look at him and I'll be like, fuck this. Like,
exactly.
He runs so hard. Like,
and you know what I would do, George? I would make a business decision. So I would wait for that motherfucker till the very last second, and then I would shift out of the way and hop on his back. I would still make the tackle, I guarantee you. But fuck taking that man's fucking 50-meter fucking momentum. Fuck that, dude. But I'll die and I won't make that tackle. There's that too.
I'm a big guy, and God, his fucking legs are two of my legs next to each other, and I just go, how fucking long do you spend on lower body in the gym, Sids? Like,
who knows?
Or is he just genetically scary?
It's definitely genetics, but like legit, I've only been put on my ass by like a couple people with like a legit stiff arm just into the dirt, and Sydney is one of the men to do it. Like his arms are also crazy powerful. So yeah, that guy has a mentality when he's running the ball too, which is the mentality I've been trying to figure out, is run the ball with attitude, because that's a thing too. You see guys like Skip.
So nice. Like, he must put himself in a dark, scary place on the field or something. Like, because he is such a nice guy. Like, I can't fault the guy. You speak to him, even though he's only ever said five words to me.
They're all kind words.
Yes. You speak to him and you're like, why are you so nice, but run like you are going to run over a brick wall and hurt the brick wall's feelings. Like,
dude, the brick wall's like upset. They're like, why did you have to come through here?
Yeah. Why didn't you run into the space next to me? That's I played against when I was playing with Fox Valley.
Yeah,
I played the Ravens, and he broke the fucking line, and somehow my ass was just in line with him. Did he go right or fucking left? No, he ran straight at me, and it's like, oh, I know I need to cut this space down and absorb this hit, but I did what you did.
Yeah.
I allowed him.
It's a business decision, dude. We're 30 years old, bro, and it's fucking semi-pro rugby, homie. I ain't separated my shoulder. You can have those 2 meters, Cindy. I'm hopping on your back.
You just gotta chop him down at the calves. Like.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'll hop on his back. We'll fall down to the hips. We'll figure it out. But yeah, he can have a couple more meters, man. I'm not doing it. It's a smart decision, is what it is. Anyway.
Exactly. Even professional rugby, they would not take that fucking chest to chest or shoulder on.
If you can avoid it, for sure don't. That vape looks really cool. I gotta get me one of those.
Right? It's pretty dope. Like $24, 7,000 puffs.
Really? Oh, so fuck yeah, dude. I'm doing that. And you know what? Hey, that should be our non-sponsor sponsor. Why don't you go ahead and just advertise them like they're our non-sponsor sponsor right now?
Right?
Yeah. So that's what I do. So, for example, our non-sponsor sponsor today, not this fucking one. That fucking vape sucked. Here we're gonna go back. We're gonna go back to the Martha Stewart CBD gummies I was given before by Taylor. So Martha Stewart is in the game. She's out there making CBD gummies, and you know what? It's nice for you, George. It's gonna calm you out, mellow out those edges a little bit, and they come in delicious flavors. And look, it's a heart-shaped little, or kind of fun-looking little basket. Look how nice these little candies look, dude. They're fucking cool looking. Look, you got all these different flavors. We got oranges. We got pineapple. Anyway,
it looks like that box hasn't even been touched, man.
I've been having a bunch of them. There's 72 here. Okay, there's a lot. But anyway,
just grab a handful and start chomping down on them.
No, I only have like one at a time. They're CBD gummies. They're only they're for stuff. But anyway, Martha Stewart's in the game, and she's a proud sponsor of Sports by Compion. Anyway, to wrap up the whole women's ordeal, they murked those girls. They got into a rhythm. Oh yeah, and shout out to women of the match, Emily Hudak. I think she had like something like in the double digits of poaches. Like there's all different numbers. There's all different numbers going on around out there. But she was apparently just all over the fucking field, stealing the fucking ball from them like at every moment. So
she was. When I saw her, she was just. It was literally men playing against kids or women playing against.
She does look really good every time she's out there. So her, Ren, and Jill are all going to be playing on the women's select side after their game tomorrow, of course. They also have a game with us tomorrow in Oconomowoc, which will be our later business. But yeah, after that, they are going to play for the select side in Madison against the Wisconsin select side. So exciting times for those girls. Best of luck to them. George, let's get to the main plate here. What's up with these Ravens, dude? Because we both agree that if the Fox Valley would have showed up with, more than 16 guys, we would have been in some serious trouble. This team came at us fast. They came at us. They didn't miss a lot of tackles, and they weren't making the same kind of stupid mistakes we were. Rewatching the film, we just had so many turnovers. It's insane how many turnovers we had. And this is just us giving the ball to them on knock-ons, on bad passes, on just dumb shit. As you mentioned the first time I talked to you, piles and piles of scrums. We're just like scrums all day long. Man, you watch the amount of standing around backs, dude. No wonder they're a little bitter sometimes.
Or vice fucking versa when you pass them a ball and
true.
Two passes, you have to go scrum down again. It's like, oh, come on, back.
Come on, dude. Make a catch.
I keep on trying to sweet talk the captain and be like, hey, how about this? If they drop it 3 times in a row within a 5-minute period, they get in the scrum and do some dirty work. Like,
see, but then we would lose though. Then,
it'd be like backs versus backs.
Oh, yeah. So we got to talk the other captain into it too. You're saying?
Yeah. So if they knock it on more than 3 times in 5 minutes, they're packing down with us. Like,
I love it.
Not with us, but it'll be 8 people in the back line because it'll be all forwards.
Okay. I'll pitch it to the other captain when we see him. So what do you guys say about? I mean, shit, man. I think we got like 6 or 7 fucking rookies out there.
Isn't it? It's scary.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It makes selection so difficult.
But fun, isn't it? A lot more fun this way. I'll tell you. As someone who was in your shoes the last year, it wasn't a job. It was just like, all right, so obviously it's gonna be this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and I guess we should put this guy there. You know what I mean?
Just copy and paste the last week's to this week.
Oh, I wish. It would be like every week it'd be like, all right, well, now we lost this guy, so now we gotta really go down to this third string down here.
Exactly, Who
man.
All of the old boys come barreless out.
Fucking like calling someone. Exactly. You're on the phone with old boys. He's like, dude, I retired 2 years ago. I know, man, but I need a prop. I really.
Rookies. I tell you what. There's some pros and there's some cons to the rookies that we have. The pros are they want to play and they want to stick tackles and run the ball. Obviously those are some huge things in rugby.
Of course.
Is going into contest. Some of our boys, not to name any, are a little bit sheepish going into contact for both defense and offense.
Absolutely.
Which,
no need to name names, but yes, we agree.
And that makes it tough.
It does.
That makes it tough because it's 15 versus 14 on defense and pretty much the exact same on offense, which makes it very, very hard to coordinate an attack when somebody's not going to put their foot down and just absolutely run into somebody full tilt, whether or not they've got the size advantage or not. And that's some of the, and the cons are we haven't really got anybody of that's tall and skinny that we can lift in the line out. Like we haven't really gotten anybody that we can hoist up and sort of take in that engine house of the scrum, that second row slots. Because
what's wrong with Weaver?
No, nothing's wrong with Weaver, but I would like Weaver to play back row. I really think that he would thrive and play longevity in the back row.
Oh, you mean back line, really?
No, as in like 6, 7, and 8.
Oh, yeah, I agreed. Yeah,
I would
sure.
like to have
I would like him there too. Yeah, but the thing is now is that we're kind of loaded at that position.
Exactly, and we are really short on second rows.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I would actually quite like to have a week off every now and again.
No
where I could be like, I feel like I need to rest this week. I've hurt me hand from wanking too much, and I feel like I should have a week off.
Yeah,
that would be the end goal, is resting some key players that play week in, week out, 60 to 80 minutes, and it would be nice to not be, because then it doesn't become a extracurricular activity. It becomes a chore where you're like, I can't let my team down, and I'm a little bit injured. I'm not feeling 100%, or for me and you, if we have sales meetings and we have to go out in prime time or out of state at prime time, it means that me and you don't deserve to start if we're not training. And that's what has always been hammered into me, is if you're not there Monday, Tuesday, I cannot guarantee you a starting position.
I actually totally agree. It's how I came up too, but it's been a much different story with the Ravens, obviously. And I think what you're saying is that you're hoping that this is something we could build down the road where it's legit competition.
And I like competition. Perfect. Competition at the positions. Because, I want to see Weaver and Stephen arguing and having a little bit of a kiss and cuddle on the training paddock, because they both believe that they should get that 6-7 jersey.
Yeah.
I would love to see that. Be like, hey, no, fuck you. I want to have this jersey. I feel like I've been performing, and you're like, well, you're not. And we can go into that if you want, but you're not having it. And Weaver's like, but I feel like my talent's wasted. I would love to see that. I love seeing competition. Competition breeds results in my eyes. And if we keep this 28 rookies or 28 players that we had last week through full season, we stand a fantastic chance of doing extraordinarily well throughout full season. Maybe even being competitive with the Woodsman, with the Riot, and really butting shoulders with those big boys that have deep squads, have 2 teams, and fuck, that'll be awesome, mate.
I 100% believe that. Yeah, if we can keep what we got going on now, legit competition across the board. Everybody happy to show up and work for their spot. We're absolutely gonna get better at team. That's easy. It's a matter of maintaining it though, and keeping people excited about it, the sport, and coming back. But you can't. There's only so much you can do there. They gotta want to. But I think we're starting to get the right guys who do want to.
Exactly. And rugby is it's such a physical drain on your endurance more than anything,
Right.
And people play 1 or 2 games and they're like, Jesus, this is tough, because there's a couple of times, I'm guessing you're exactly the same as me, probably with a better set of lungs, that it gets to like that late minutes and you're like, I am absolutely out of breath, out of stamina, but I have to keep on taking it into contact, keep on making these hits.
Yeah.
And it becomes tough. But back to the Gargoyles. What a fantastic squad they have,
dude. And great guys. You know, they came to Scotland with us on tour. Really great guys. Shout out to fucking Steve Vitus over there. Fucking Matthew, I forget his last name, but he's known as Dickus. Fucking Ryan Peters, their scrum half, their fly half, who had a really good game. Their number 6, I forget his fucking name. We said it a couple times, but he ran hard all game and got man of the match from us for him. They balled out, man. Like they came down with 16 guys, and like most of them were fucking warriors. Like I think they had like a couple injuries and one guy from Oconomowoc, but they fucking wanted that game. You could tell they were playing like they wanted to win that game. The couple guys who did show up, like I wanted that game, and I felt it that too. You know, like they knew it. Nothing like beating your friends, and that's what it came down to, really.
It turned into a parking lot rugby game, you know, where we're gonna fucking have an argument here, but have a beer afterwards, you know.
Absolutely, and you know, I don't think it really was too choppy on the field. You know, there was maybe like a few instances of some stuff, but for the most part, no real choppiness. It was more just heavily competitive the whole game. Like even like I think it was the last 20 minutes they scored and brought it within 2. And I remember giving that speech on the sideline, like guys, they're not on our level. Come on. And, you know, we proceeded to score 2 tries after that, but, like, it really did come down to the last little while there before we finally, you know, took control and were able to secure that win, man. It was just crazy.
Yes, yeah, it was a big game, you know, it was...
Losing Jeremiah was huge. We can't discount that.
No. But Jeremiah's a centre. He's not... I would actually think I may like Hudak at 10 a little bit more, even though he's a selfish knob. He's very much so. He's very in it. You know, he understands rugby.
Well, he knows what to do. It's just going to be a matter of how well can he direct this offense. You know, because he tends to get a little frustrated out there. He gets a little into it.
And
chippy, he gets very chippy, and he gets chippy with teammates too, and that's not something you want to be dealing with, you know, from your 10 and in the midst of battle. So hopefully he can work these things out because he arguably is one of the more talented rugby players on our team. You know, he gets by with pure skill and experience. Yes. That kid has pure skill and experience. Like he doesn't go to the gym, he doesn't like watch rugby and stuff. So like he's just at this point he's pure skill and experience, and he's good.
He looks bloody homeless,
and he does. But he's good. He's a goddamn good rugby player. It's crazy. So yeah,
you would literally drive by him and be like, "Oh, look at that homeless guy." Like, but no, he's a nice kid. You know, he's a good couple of years younger than us.
Which it's a couple though.
Always.
It is important
because you're seeing these kids and you're like. You're so good at such a young age.
Yeah.
You're seeing this and you're like, oh, for God's sakes.
Bro, like, watching Caleb come up, like, holy shit, dude.
Oh, my God.
Caleb's like, fuck the stairs. I'm taking the fire escape, and I'm just going to fucking climb it up myself like a goddamn monkey. Dude, the guy is balling these last 2 games. He's been honorable man of the mention the last 2 games, and I have a feeling he's going to take this 3rd game as man of the match by a lot.
Do you reckon?
Yep, and I think, speaking of that 3rd game, I'm a little nervous, George. We're going to have to play fucking well. I think we're going against a very good team that is eager to get a win. They're at home. You know, they know they probably have heard by now that we beat Fox Valley, the Fox City, so they're going to want to win because of that too. Those 2 are rivals.
Beating Fox Valley would be a serious achievement.
That would be nice. That would be really nice. But no, we beat Fox City for now. But yeah, it's going to be a big game.
Home ground. It's going to be a huge.
It's going to be cold too and rainy maybe too. So.
Oh, thank God for that.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that. I prefer a cold game than a hot game any day.
I would prefer rain over sun. Like playing it in England, and you can't really do it here. But in England. Rugby's a winter sport. You're meant to be up to your ankles in mud playing rugby. Like
that's crazy.
It's not a where you get tackled on the ground and you're like, did I just get tackled on concrete? Somebody's you hit and you see a little dust puddle fly up. You're like, oh.
That's the super muddy games I don't like either, because then you lose all agility and it's just this absolute mud fest.
Yeah, it's just a forwards game.
Yeah,
I've been involved in a couple where you're scrumming and your cleats, and you would actually be digging valleys into the mud with your studs, and you're there, and you're like, rah, you're like pumping your feet, and you're just wallowing down. Like, those are the games that I think back, and I'm like, wow. They'll be passing the ball, and they'll be whipping, and there'll be a spiral of mud coming over it because there's so much shit. It was just a different world. Whereas over here, because of the football influence, it's American football, not soccer. It's
played in the fall. Huh.
It's so quick. Some of these people, they break you like running, and you're like, they're doing their little dancing feet, and you're like, fucking little bastard, run straight.
I hate little fast guys. They're the worst. One of those got me. I hate missing tackles, George. I missed one on Saturday because against a little bastard. Dude, managed to, I'm running in. He's, picking up a ball, so I'm thinking this is going to be an easy tackle because he doesn't even see me coming. But instead of, getting in proper form, I kind of went a little high on him, and he ducked under me, the little bastard.
Was that fucking fullback that did
it? It was at 15, yeah, that little fucking guy, dude. That guy had a game. Honestly, we probably should have selected him as man of the match for us because he fucking balled out.
It's hard when you have forwards selecting because, we're all...
Exactly. We're just I just remember tackling that 6 all day that sucked. He's definitely the man of the match for them.
I tell you, that 6 ran so
hard, dude. And he didn't miss tackles. I don't think I saw him miss a tackle all game.
No, he would run, and you're like, okay, he's a short fellow.
Exactly.
So I'm just gonna wallop him, and you would hit him, and you would just bounce, and you're like,
right?
Okay, no, where are you?
Exactly. No, he sucks. That guy sucks. It sucks to tackle, to clarify for the motherfuckers out there. But anyway, I'm absolutely picking the Ravens for this away game. I think we're gonna pull it together and kick some ass, and the rookies are gonna shine, and we're gonna fucking figure out a way to win this game.
Yeah, very, very political point of view there. I'm a little bit more cynical. I feel like we're gonna come away with an L. I feel like it's gonna be a proper game though.
Okay.
Not one where you're like sometimes when you're playing for the Ravens, you're sitting there and you're like fucking 60 points to 20, and you're like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Just let's finish this.
Yeah. No, I've been there for sure.
And you're just like, I just want to drink my beer in silence and just.
Well, luckily it's not gonna happen that way this time. We're either gonna win this game or it's gonna be fucking close.
It's gonna be fucking close. I have a feeling it's gonna be. I feel like whoever makes the most conversions is gonna win this game. Wow. And Derling not being there, Archie not being there is gonna make.
I was just gonna say Archer's our kicker. So who the fuck is kicking it? Is it Mike?
It might be Mike.
It might be Mike. I guess Mike's kicking it. Friend of the show. Mike has already come on the podcast. You guys saw him before. Fucking big old beard. Fucking Aaron Rodgers motherfucker. Yeah, he's gonna probably be our kicker.
It's probably gonna be Mike. Or I could
couple. Get in there if you like.
I cannot kick off my left foot, so Mike can take the left kick. So, but it's going to be a tough game. Maybe what's his name? Hudak can though.
Oh yeah. Hudak does do a lot of kicking normally.
Oh, doesn't he? Sometimes he's kicking. You're like, don't kick it, please.
Anyway, enough about Hudak. George, do you have any closing statements about... Well, all right, so just to say real quick about the fall, obviously, that's the shit that actually matters as far as this team. We're building towards that. Those are the ones that are in conference and that actually matter to us at the Rockford Ravens. What do you think about this momentum we got built up? Do you think it can last? Can we continue to build it throughout the spring season and carry it to the fall? Do you think we've seen the last of our victories? And so we all are getting our ass kicked from here on out?
No, I don't think we're going to get our ass kicked from here on out. I feel that it's going to be... Fall season's going to be a tough one because obviously the biggest thing in our arsenal at the moment is depth of subs.
Yeah,
and
we can't use that in the fall.
We cannot use that in the fall. You can't just roll on 7 new forwards and expect to just absolutely roll over them. It's just not going to happen. So we're going to have to work our lungs this summer period. And
we should play some sevens. I signed up for tournaments.
I agree with it, but I fucking hate sevens.
Dude, it'll help you with your handling so much. It's going to be great.
14 minutes is not enough rugby to get my head in the game. You know, as soon as I...
That is interesting. It's more highlights. This is all highlights. It's really just highlights for the funsies, and, you know, that's what it's about. And, dude, intense cardio. It's about just sucking it up. Because, holy shit, dude, I've never been so tired as in sevens games sometimes.
When you're hitting that third or fourth game and you're like, oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm burned. I'm gonna have blisters, like,
or more so like when you're in it and like you realize you got to get back to chase this guy with the ball and you're fucking exhausted because you were moving the ball the other way with the offense and now you got to get back on defense. Anyway, so yeah, final closing. Go ahead.
Breaks the line and then they get tackled with like 5 meters left.
Yeah.
Can you let him score that?
What do you guys say about these Rockford Ravens, though? You think we could have a good chance to make some noise? You've already kind of mentioned that. Do you have any rookies in particular that you're excited about?
I am excited, not necessarily a bunch about any of the forwards because, you know, not many highlight reels are made from forwards. Let's face it. Unless, you know, you're a demon in the front row, but you don't get awarded penalties in D3 for a dominant scrum.
Okay.
You know, don't think I've ever seen a dominant scrum penalty for the Ravens. Maybe one or two, but very, very rare. Zach, I feel like Zach's going to have a monster game.
He's playing 13 today. I mean, tomorrow.
Maybe not at 13 because I feel like
he's already there.
Yeah, I don't think he's defensively savvy enough. I would much rather have Mike at 13, but I'm not back selector.
Mike's gung-ho about staying at 15. I've been trying to get him to go play 10 for a while. He's gung-ho about not doing it. I'm like,
isn't he just? Like, you even mention it and you see the jaw tighten up, the beard.
Bro, he just does the Mike thing where he just doesn't really say anything, but you know he disagrees. It's just like, but why, Mike? You don't think you can figure this out? He's like, yeah. I'm like, he's like, yeah, I don't know.
He's content at his position, all right?
I mean, he does dominate. He does a great job.
He doesn't he make some tackles? Jonah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Jonah's definitely exciting.
And that's a big miss for this weekend.
Yeah. Hopefully we can get it back from this. He can dodge that other wedding.
Who else do we have? Gio? I feel like Gio's a monster. I feel like he's a cooked grenade waiting to go off.
I'm excited about that. Gio's going to get some good game time today, next week, and tomorrow, and that's very important.
I hope so. I don't know who the fuck he's going to replace, though.
It's so hard out there.
Are we going to kick Caleb off where he's just absolutely dominated the contact zone?
Yeah, no, we can't.
You take me off. I'm always more than willing. We'll just replace Ben. I'll pop into second row, and Gio can go to blind, and you can go to 8.
Yeah, we can even put him at 8 sometimes. I mean, or I could go to 8. It really doesn't matter. We'll figure it out how to get him on the field. It's going to be interesting. Like you mentioned, I'm happy that there's legit competition at flankers. So, it's good.
Yeah. Anytime trust me, I'm going to drop your ass sometimes, sooner or later.
Why would you drop me? We're on the same team. How are you going to do that?
I'll drop you to reserves, mate.
Oh.
Not like drop you out the team. No, fuck no. I couldn't do that because you're like you make the most tackles, even though I do think Jeremiah's better at open field tackling than you. I remember we've had that argument before.
Wrong.
But
incorrect.
I feel that Jeremiah at 13 would be better than Steven at 13 on defense, is what I mean by it. Not that I feel like you miss tackles and Jeremiah makes more tackles. If anything, Jeremiah's a little bit too gun-ho on defense. He wants to go absolutely throw his body around, and he fucking fucked his shit up last weekend from throwing his body around like a lunatic.
What a crazy person.
But that's the biggest issue I have with rugby. I know we're trying to so you can go work. Biggest issue with rugby is it's not about that one tackle. It is about the get up and recycle back into the defense line.
Yeah.
That is so important.
No, for sure. Unless you have a friend nearby who can make that one tackle be a counter ruck or poach.
Exactly.
And then that really does matter. Because dominant tackles can be turning, but it's all about being able to get up there and fucking be able to poach that or counter ruck in time, and that can be difficult. Very difficult.
Biggest issue I have with dominant tackles is you have to cancel out the person's momentum and drive him back.
Yeah.
Which puts all of your body, and studs are obviously you need to wear them.
Not to mention energy. So as a 7, like I don't have the energy to put up like 3-4 dominant tackles and do all the other shit I do. Like that's just not possible. You know,
or you just don't have people run at you like they don't run at me.
Well, but it's also just not that necessary. Like it's like we were talking about earlier. We're tackling a guy like Sydney. Like, is it more important to make that tackle or to, make it a dominant tackle? Because good luck.
Exactly. Does it even change the morale of the game? Me putting my shoulder into his waist, lifting his legs, and putting him on his backside? No.
It doesn't change. For like a couple seconds, maybe some people will see that and get riled up. But rugby's so fast that they'll have forgotten about that and they'll have it. Like, it wasn't until like watching the film, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that play. Like, you know what I mean? So if we're forgetting about it that fast and we're involved in it, think about the people watching,
Exactly. Yeah. But no, I always feel like backs need to make all of their tackles, otherwise it will pretty much be a try. Forwards, not necessarily, because I've never actually pulled out of a forward pack and been, oh, I've missed that, it's been a try. Because there's always 8 forwards within a 15-meter distance from me. Forwards tackles are not necessarily make or break of a game.
Yeah.
Backs tackle, missing a tackle means
that can be huge.
The inside centre breaks the line and everything's fucked, But
right.
Getting on to, dominant tackles are stupid, because you stand there, you get low body position, you chop their legs, they're still a 200-pound man going over your shoulder. So what your body naturally wants to do is slide back, studs stop you from sliding. Yeah. So you have to chop your legs and put him over. Yeah. It's very difficult.
No shit.
But no, there's only 2 times on those 5-meter lines. It's only where you need to make big tackles.
Yeah, that is a time where you really can't be fucking around. When you're on the goal line, you really do got to do whatever you got to do to get that guy on the ground and quickly. And ideally, steal the ball back.
Yes.
That's when it really comes time to start fucking with the ball.
Do you know who's a fantastic tackler? Frank, man.
Yeah.
Always. I've never actually seen him miss a tackle.
I don't know about that, but yeah. Absolutely a good tackler, and he's usually in the right spot, too. He usually knows where to be. Like, I was very happy when he came back in.
You always know where he is because he's always complaining about something.
Yeah, that is a good point, too.
People are going to listen to this and be like, damn, George fucking ripping him an asshole, but...
No, don't worry. Nobody's listening to this.
Yes, sir. I know you want to bounce. We could obviously spend all day talking about rugby.
Right. We'll go talk about it tomorrow as we play some. But I do appreciate you joining us, George. Any last words or thoughts you'd like to share with the public?
Get out and play fucking sport. I don't care if it's lacrosse, American football, rugby, soccer. Go do something, you fat piece of shit.
Absolutely.
And you'll enjoy your life a lot better.
You absolutely will. The weather's going to be good.
I hate stagnation. Is all the issues in this world in my mind. You not doing something means that your mind is wandering somewhere else. So, get you off your fat ass and go play sports.
Fuck yeah.
It's only going to make you a better person. But pleasure speaking to you, mate. See you tomorrow morning. And I've got to be at the field about fucking 4 hours before we start playing because my wife is obviously playing.
Oh right, yeah. Well, we'll try to get up there early to see that kickoff as well. This has been Sports by Compion, special edition of George McHattie.